NASA's Solutions for Enterprise-Wide Procurement contract is now in its 6th iteration, which is expected to be its largest and most comprehensive yet. In this interview, we spoke with Deltek's Vice President of Research, Carey Webster, to learn more about the details of the contract and what contractors can do to prepare. If you enjoy this interview, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you'd like to be interviewed, email summer@executivemosaic.com. Hello, and welcome to Executive Mosaic's video interview series. I'm Summer Myatt, and here to speak with me today is Carey Webster, Vice President of Research at Deltek. Carey, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Summer.
So, Carey, can you give us some background information on NASA's Solutions for Enterprise-Wide Procurement contract? What does that contract entail, and why is it so important for industry right now?
Yeah, this is a huge contract. We're on the 6th iteration of it when this opportunity is awarded. It's a very well-known contract within the industry. It is used by, if not all, almost all government agencies, and it has been for, over 30 years. So it's one of those contracts that's appealing to government agencies, and so therefore it's very appealing to contractors to get a spot on this contract.
What makes it so appealing for government agencies?
Yeah, I think it's a few things. It's an extremely well-run contract. It's a well-respected contract. There are, maybe 10,000 products already on this contract, and it is very easy to add new products to the contract. And that's one of the things that SEWP is known for. They're very easy to work for. The turnaround time is very quick to add on new product. So that's one of the reasons it's so appealing to government agencies.
So let's talk about the major milestones for the opportunity. Has a request for proposals been released, and are there more drafts expected?
So the final RFP hasn't been released. That is scheduled to be released, NASA is saying, in spring of 2024. So by end of March. And so that's what we're estimating at Deltek, that's probably when it's going to be released. They've had 2 industry days already. They did release the draft RFP, I believe, in the September timeframe. The government has stated that this is going to be the last draft that they release. And so the great thing about that for contractors is that now's a great time to understand what's in the draft, because we do think that it's going to look pretty similar, if not exactly, to the RFP once it is released in March. We are estimating, and the government's estimating, that awards will be made in the October timeframe. Always there's a chance for things to come up, like protests, but October is the expected timeframe for making the award announcements.
So let's get into the draft details. What are some of the details you can share with us about what is in the SEWP VI draft?
Yeah, so some things that are interesting that we're seeing with SEWP VI that we haven't seen with previous iterations of this contract. One is that as of now, they've stated that there is not going to be a cap for awards. So what that means is that anyone that passes the evaluation process will get a prime spot on this contract. Currently on SEWP V, I believe there's about 200 prime awardees. So this really opens up the door for other companies to get a prime spot. Obviously, that's very good for industry, especially right now, when you look at category management and what's happening because of that. What we're seeing is less and less new contracts coming out. We're seeing the government rely more on existing contracts instead of recompeting contracts when they come up. So, it's great that SEWP is one of those agencies that said, we're not going to cap awards. If you qualify, you're going to get a spot as a prime.
So, Carey, what can contractors do now to prepare for the upcoming RFP?
Yeah, the best advice I could give anyone now, because like I said, we do anticipate that the final RFP is going to look very similar, if not exact, to the draft RFP. So anything that they can do to get a better understanding of the evaluation process within that draft, I recommend them doing that. They should read through the draft. There's other resources like Deltek, for one. We offer free webinars. We don't help with proposal writing. We kind of track the opportunity from cradle to grave for people, but we don't help with, how do you respond to the proposal? So what we do is we pair up with partner companies that do provide that service, and we offer free webinars. We just had one at the beginning of November with a company called Red Team. They break down that draft to point out to contractors, what do you need to focus on? What do you need to know? What should you be doing right now so that when that final RFP comes out in, the spring of next year, you're prepared, right?
And Carey, what exactly is NASA looking for with this contract, and what kind of contractors do you think will be applying?
So it's interesting because the NASA SEWP contract, it's a GWAC, which means it's an IT contract, and it's open to any government buyers to use this to procure their needs. It sort of has this reputation when people think about it as being an IT product contract, which it is. There's a lot of IT products that are procured on this contract, but especially with this last iteration, with the current one that we're in with SEWP V, it also has, kind of an IT services piece to it as well. But what we're seeing in 6, at least what we've seen so far, is that they're really kind of going to focus more on that IT services piece. So, product, obviously, it's still going to be huge on this contract, but it's clear that they're also looking more for IT services companies to have an interest in it, because there's 3 different categories that they have in the draft currently, and one of those is specifically about IT services. So I think they're looking to cover, not just product and some services, but really open up that services piece a little bit more than what we've seen on past SEWP contracts.
All right. Well, Carey, thank you so much for your insights today and for all the work you do at Deltek.
Sure. Thank you for having me.